The Dow making a huge rebound, surging more than 1,000 points at Wednesday's close after, you could call it a Christmas Eve crash. So could this roller coaster wave be a result of computerized trading, which controls a whopping 85% of the market? Here now to break down his tips is CPA and financial analyst Dan Geltrude. Before we get to your tips, briefly explain what computerized trading is.
Sure. You have computer algorithms which are set. So they're predetermined marks for buying and selling. So what happens is when the market or certain stocks hit a point in time, bang, the trading starts. And what happens, what you saw yesterday in terms of this rush of buyers into the market, that's because there were so many people with similar buying points. And once it hit that, the algorithms, the computers just started buying and buying and buying, and that's the result that we had.
Okay, so how does the person out there watching deal with that, overcome that so that their financial future is as secure as possible?
What ends up happening, Todd, is that there's becoming an emphasis on trading as opposed to investing, and that's problematic. So you need to really spend time with your investment advisor to figure out what is your investment goal and stick with that. And the computers do what they do. Listen, you have some funds out there that are 100% driven by computer algorithms. So you are taking the human factor completely out of investing at this point.
Looking ahead to today, dare I ask you what happens, or are we in a point in our financial world where if you even begin, if you're the smartest guy in the room and you even begin to predict what's going to happen, you're going to have egg on your face at the end of the day?
Well, what happened yesterday was the president was out of pocket. So it ended up being a quiet news day, Todd. So I think you had the market truing up, let's say. Now, what's going to happen today? I don't really know. However, I think the news out there is relatively positive. We have Jerome Powell, who is going to remain on the Fed. The Fed seems to have been taking their foot off the gas a little bit related to interest rates. I also think there's progress being made with China, which is really important as far as the trade war goes. So I think there's pretty good news out there. I also think that Congress ultimately is going to deal with this shutdown issue, and there's going to be some kind of compromise.
It's fascinating. You mentioned the Fed. There were so many rumors that were going back and forth throughout the last week or so. Jerome Powell's out. Jerome Powell's in. Who knows? The statement yesterday by Kevin Hastert that came out and said 100%. When you have that number 100%, there's not a lot of room for equivocation. Jerome Powell's there. That really calmed down the markets.
Yes, and it would, Todd, because it's all about certainty. The market does not like certainty. The market likes certainty,
right?
Rather. When you have a split government, that's okay because there's certainty and gridlock. But when you make a statement like that where it's going to be 100% that Jerome Powell is going to be the Fed chair, that's about as certain as we can get, and that's a good thing.
We will see what happens today, Mr. Geltrude. Thanks for coming
Todd.
in. And thanks for wearing those shoes again. They really are helping the nation move forward in 2019.